It's the way to go. Eat a fig, not a pig, let your kindness show. If it's your wig or a jig or a swig, do you dig? Big. It's the way to go. It's Big Fat Vegan Radio.
When something's fat, there's a lot to show. It's gotta be fat to help the movement grow. Making fat loud chat that won't be flat. It's fat. And here's our show. It's Big Fat Vegan Radio.
I just got that vegan glow, like a drag queen calling Patrick Goudreau. I'm a YouTube beacon cooking up good eating. Veganism makes me glow. It's Big Fat Vegan Radio.
All right, vegans, all together now. When something's fat, there's a lot to show. It's gotta be fat to help the movement grow. Making fat loud chat that won't be flat. It's fat.
It's the way to go.
It's Big Fat Vegan Radio.
Hey everyone, welcome to Big Fat Vegan Radio. We're podcasting from San Francisco
and New York City
to discuss veganism in all of its glory. I'm here with Ben Strothman, otherwise known as Honey LaBronx, everyone's favorite vegan drag queen.
And I'm here with Laura Yaz, vegan writer and entertainment know-it-all.
You can check us out on Twitter and Facebook by searching for Big Fat Vegan Radio. Oh, and on YouTube, too.
Yeah, you said tutu. And, wait, no, did you? No, you didn't. But it's all good.
I did it. You can check us out on YouTube, too.
Someone
no,
should
I didn't say two.
There, I said tutu. And
YouTube, too.
You can follow along with our show notes at bigfatveganradio.com.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Laura. I'm really excited about today's interview.
Oh, me too.
You know, we had a kind of interesting email from, it was a college student, right?
No, she's a high school student. She's emailed us before. She's definitely one of our regular listeners. I've had correspondence with her in the past.
Oh, yeah. It's Kayla, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's pronounced Kayla, yeah.
Kayla, and she is, she's a high school student, but she's getting ready to go to college. And,
next year, she's graduating.
Well, that's around the corner. I mean, when you could be my age, that's like minutes away. She had some fears about, well, you'll hear the email later in the episode, but she had some fears about like, how do I stay vegan when I get to college? And how do I stay vegan, this and that? And it really gave me the great idea for this upcoming interview with Mindy Collette. So without further ado, how about we set that up for you right now?
Yeah, I wanted to add something. I just wanted to say also, we get so many emails asking about vegan athletes, and Mindy's also a vegan athlete, so she's gonna feed two birds with one scone, she is.
Feed two birds with one scone. She's also, you might remember that we, a long time ago, talked about the veganbodybuilding.com. They had like a contest. I think it was bodybuilding.com or something like that, or Iron Man magazine, or
I don't recall.
Some muscly magazine had a contest to be like, be the bodybuilder 2013, be on our cover. And we had vegan bodybuilding was really trying to get people to vote on Mindy Collette and Derek Treesize so that we would have two vegans on the cover.
Hottie McHotties.
Yeah, it didn't end up happening, but this is Mindy, who we were so excited about getting behind her and just what she's about. And so I'm personally stoked to have her on the show. So
she's ripped, y'all. She's ripped.
She is.
She could punch you in the face.
She definitely could kick my butt. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna start with her. I'm just gonna, yes, Mindy. Mm-hmm, Mindy. Thank you, Mindy. Just all P's and Q's.
Anything else, Mindy?
Yeah. If you hear me wetting my pants a little bit, it's just because I'm scared.
How high should I jump, Mindy?
Oh my God, I would love her to be my personal trainer so much.
Oh my God, she would kick your butt.
She would kick my butt. Though I kicked my own butt at the gym 2 days ago. So I did lower body, and I thought, when you're working glutes and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go a little extra hard and really work out the glutes. Because you can't feel the damage you're doing at the time. And then the next day, you try to sit down. Ouch. And then last night at Lucky Cheng's, one of the show hostesses, she was walking by. She was schnackered. Schnackered means drunk. And I
thought you meant drunk. I wasn't sure. Yeah. I know schnackered means drunk.
Schnackered also could mean, I don't know, like particularly festive. But she was schnackered and hammered. And she thought it'd be funny to punch me in the right butt cheek, which at the time felt like, it feels like there's a lump in my butt cheek. It's that sore from working out, and I screamed like Captain Carl from Pee-wee's Playhouse. And then she just looked at me like, oh, I'm so cute. I'm so funny, huh? And I just looked at her like, don't ever. But no words were exchanged. It was all ESPN. So, without further ado, how about we bring Mindy onto the line?
We're here with Mindy Collette. Mindy is a 26-year-old college student based in Oregon. She's a lifelong dancer, bodybuilder, and a practicing yogi. She is passionate about health, animal welfare, and spreading the vegan message. She is currently pursuing her degree in science to become a registered dietitian and plans to complete the Colin T. Campbell plant-based nutrition certification this summer at Cornell. Welcome, Mindy! Welcome to Big Fat Vegan Radio.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, awesome. We're so excited. You know, this is the last interview episode of our first year, so we are going out with a bang. You're a guest that I've wanted to have on the show for a while, and I'm really looking forward to getting into some questions with you.
Aw, well, thank you. I'm excited. I'm honored to be on your show. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, our listeners know of you from, we mentioned a few episodes ago the vegan bodybuilding. Can you tell us what that was? What was the publication? It was bodybuilding.com?
It was bodybuilding.com. There was a body space based purely on votes. Mm-hmm. And myself and Derek Tresize entered that, and neither of us actually placed, but I did get a message actually from the gal that puts it on through bodybuilding.com, and she requested that we do it again next year, and sent me a really nice email. Yeah, she sent me a really cool email and just said, thank you so much for being so sweet. I had a lot of correspondence with her during that time, and she was just so kind. So it was kind of flattering for her to tell me to come back, so I'll be definitely doing that again this year. So, and
we will have even that much more vegan support next year.
Awesome! Yeah. I'll rock it for you guys.
Yeah. So, Mindy, could you start off by telling us, obviously, you're vegan. So, like, how and when did that happen? And, like, what inspired you to go vegan?
It was kind of a chain of events, really. It was in 2009, I met Robert Cheek. We competed in the same show in Bend, Oregon, and it was my first competition, and he was just backstage, and he was really nice and just not like the other bodybuilder guys. He was just really down to earth and super smiley and happy and running around with his long blonde ponytail all the time. So we kind of just chatted very briefly backstage, and then he ended up finding me, I think, on Facebook, and I started kind of looking into it. I was like, what is this all about? Like, I'd been vegetarian on and off, but I didn't know really about veganism, so Robert really inspired me to change. So that was like the initial start. And then in end of 2009, early 2010, I was sick for the last 5 months of 2009 into the early 2 or 3 months of 2010. And I'd had bronchitis, pneumonia, back to back. And then finally went out with a bang, so to speak, with the H1N1, and I was in bed for like 36 hours straight, and it was just terrible. I finally got better from that, and I got a kidney infection shortly thereafter. And at that point, I thought, gosh, there must be something I'm doing wrong. So I opted to go to the doctor, and she looked at me very sternly and said, no more gluten and no more dairy. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And the gluten was honestly the harder part, which now, ironically, I can actually have gluten and I'm fine. But I dropped the dairy like a bad habit, and I already wasn't eating meat, so it was really pretty easy. Honestly, the last thing to go was eggs, and that was just because they're in a lot of products, and I wasn't really aware of it. But in 2010, I officially went vegan, so...
Awesome.
That's it. Yeah. Sorry, it's kind of a long story.
But that is a very short going vegan story that is concise.
Oh, no, that's fascinating. Yeah, that's really interesting.
I think that's around when I went vegan too, around 2010. Oh, but that's so awesome. Yeah, he's a smiley face with a ponytail and muscles.
Exactly. It won me over. What can I say?
Yeah. So you said that you can have gluten now and it doesn't bother you?
I can. I honestly think my body was mostly just really upset from the egg and the dairy that was still in my diet at that time.
Wow.
At one point in 2011, I think it was, I went over to my friend's house, and they're vegetarian. They've been vegetarian for years. And usually she's really good about knowing, what my vegan habits were and everything. And she made these tacos, and I was eating it, and I was like, okay, so what is this meat? Because I thought it was Gardein, like the little groundless beef or whatever they have. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, it's this brand, and they went and got the package, and immediately I was like, oh no, okay. I thought it wasn't, and it was just vegetarian, and it had egg in it, and I was so sick. So I really honestly think that the majority of my issues were stemming from having animal products, So now I can have gluten. I don't have it all the time, but if I have it, it doesn't ruin me either. I'm not down for the count, so.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so awesome that your doctor told you to drop the dairy. It's funny, the last time I got very sick, when I first moved to California, I got the flu, like one of the worst flus I've ever had in my life. And the doctor told me, he said, don't eat any dairy, which is hysterical because I'm vegan. And I was like, no problem. But I never had a doctor say that to me before. It really knocked me out that he was like, don't eat dairy. And I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad that's catching on. Glad to hear it.
Yeah,
it's kind
of nice. Sorry.
No, go ahead, dear.
Oh, I was just going to say it's refreshing to hear that from doctors, since it seems like that's such a point of conflict in the medical community. So it's kind of nice to hear that other doctors are saying that as well.
Amen.
Yeah, definitely. I do think the dairy is bad for you is basically this thing that everybody can't deny anymore. I think everybody's at the point where they're like, oh, it's really bad. Dairy's really bad.
Slowly we're going that way, yeah.
Yeah. So you're obviously an incredibly athletic person, and so obviously you need to eat to support that. So can you give us an idea of what your daily consumption is, like what you eat on an average day?
Sure, yeah. So when I'm not getting ready for competition, I always start my morning, even now, with some oats, and I'll do a little bit of nut or oat milk, actually, with it. And I like cinnamon, so I throw a lot of cinnamon in there, and some berries, usually strawberries or blueberries. And I always have a protein shake. And if I'm not terribly hungry, those mornings that you wake up, I might start with just a banana and a protein shake and then take another something to eat while I'm at the gym. And then I go to the gym. When I come home, I immediately have another protein shake. I'm kind of protein shake heavy just because I'm trying to put on muscle. So that may not be practical for everyone else, but having a protein shake after working out is ideal for anyone that's lifting. And then my lunch usually consists of something like a sweet potato with veggies and avocado. I really like doing little veggie stir fries, and I don't cook with oil, so I just basically blanch everything with a little bit of water. Mm-hmm. Get the flavors in there, and do onions and garlic and ginger and carrots and kale. I'm a big fan of kale. And then somewhere in the afternoon, maybe 2 or 3 hours after lunch, I would have a fruit and a rice cake with peanut butter. And then I would have another snack where I might just have, fruit or fruit and veggies. And then dinner is usually kind of similar to lunch. I might do quinoa and veggies and tofu or tempeh or seitan, or, do the sweet potato or brown rice or something like that. But I do definitely try to stick with a complex carbohydrate, something that my body can slower process through, and make sure to get lots of veggies in there because that's what makes our bodies happy. And I think that's a pretty typical day. As far as drinks go, I just drink a lot of water, and lately I've been addicted to those little Kavita drinks. Have you ever had those?
Oh, I'm addicted to those too. Yeah,
they're so good. They're
these little probiotic drinks. Oh my god, they're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so good. I love kombucha, but the Kavita is nice because it doesn't have as many carbs in there, and not that everybody else cares all the time about carbohydrates, but right now, especially getting ready for my show, it's really nice to have low carb, something I can still drink and be on my diet. So those are my new addiction. But
sure. I feel like I get drunk when I drink kombucha, so I don't like it for that reason.
Well,
I'll have a little bit and I'll feel a little drunk, and I don't like that.
You're really sensitive to it. Yeah, I can see that though, because I know some of them have higher alcohol percentages too. So that's definitely
something. I've had one occasion where I'm like, I should not drink this. I am concerned.
Yeah, maybe you should avoid those.
Yeah, no kidding. So when you say you have a protein shake, are you a Vega person, or what kind of protein shakes are you having?
I'm kind of all over the board. I used to be really strictly Vega just because it was really consistent, and I still love my Vega, so don't take that the wrong way, please, because I'm a big advocate for a lot of their products. But we got sponsored for our July show in Austin. We're doing a Naturally Fit show, a big group of us through Plant Built, and we all got sponsored by Plant Fusion, and their consistency of protein powder, I don't know if you've ever had that or heard of it, but it's amazing. It's really thin, and it doesn't get clumpy or anything like that, and the flavor is really nice and light. So I'm a pretty big fan of that right now, probably mostly because I got sponsored by them is originally what started it, but I'm really a big fan. Yeah. I really do like that. So,
I always see them at the shows. They're always at all the trade shows and all the festivals. They're really active. Yeah,
they're really good too, and they seem like really nice people. I've been in contact with the company a little bit here and there, and they're just really great people. And then I do Sun Warrior too, because I do like to do raw proteins because it's really good for your body. Your body can assimilate that protein a lot easier than any other protein that's been through heat. So it's kind of good to do that when you can. So I'll use Sun Warrior or Garden of Life. And I'm a big fan of Warrior Force also. So like I said, I'm kind of all over the board. I kind of have different reasons for all of them that I love. So
you are a protein junkie.
Yes, I am protein junkie.
This is sort of an intervention, Mindy.
Hey, she needs it. Have you seen her photographs?
Oh my God, I know. Mindy, your protein addiction has affected my life negatively in the following ways. Well, seriously, that leads me to a question that I would love to ask. Mindy, since I was like 18, I have been on and off going to the gym, working out, really stumbling and finding my way in the dark. And, a friend of mine back in my hometown in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Dave Gundrum, he is a bodybuilder who went vegan about a year ago. So he's kind of been like my Yoda by phone as far as coaching me through my workouts and what to eat. And, what he as a bodybuilder has learned how to translate what he does to veganism. So I'm getting a lot of helpful info from him, but I have to say it's been now about 14 months for me consistently going to the gym. I'm patting myself in the back here because I've never been able to go to the gym consistently more than like 9 or 10 weeks, and I always get bored or sick or disinterested or preoccupied, and then I just stop. And with the exception of a month or two here or there where I kind of fell off the wagon a little, I'm like really in it to win it this time around. But I've never done this as a vegan, and a lot of the old habits, whether it's a question of veganism or whether it's just a question of being chemical free or natural, a lot of old habits are tempting me. Like, I'm starting to feel like, well, I want to accelerate my results. Like, I used to take creatine. Maybe I could start taking that again. Or, I've even started thinking, well, God, I want to lose some weight around the love handles. What if I took like a fat burner? But then I always think, well, what in nature is a fat burner? Like, instead of taking a pill fat burner, couldn't I just start eating more of this or more of that? And also I'm on and off again with the energy drinks. Like, I keep needing them before a workout, and then I'm like, I gotta kick the habit. So
kick the habit.
Yeah, like pre-workout energizers, fat burners, creatine. Like, is there anything you supplement with or recommend or, go?
Yeah. So creatine, I think it works for some people and it doesn't work for some people. For me personally, I didn't really see results, which is sort of unfortunate because I was really hoping that I would. A friend of mine, though, had done it, and she looked great. She put on some muscle, which was really hard for her. She's a lot smaller frame than I was. So she did put on some muscle. I ended up quit taking it, but they do have a pure vegan one through veganproteins.com. It comes in a little purple bottle, and unfortunately I can't remember the name of it, but it's a powder. And Giacomo or Danny there could give you advice on that. But I mean, really, if it did work for you in the past, then definitely do it again. Just make sure, unfortunately kind of cycle it. Do it for, I think Giacomo told me to do it for like a month and a half or 2 months, and then take a month or so off and then pick it back up. And so I might do it again after that and see if I see any differences this time. Maybe I honed and cleaned up my diet a little bit more. Maybe that helps,
Yeah.
I don't know if helps you at all in that way. So I would say try it, and you can just make sure it's a vegan one, because I know sometimes they come with weird stuff, or just we don't want any of that. We don't want that.
That was a quick, to interrupt with another quick question.
Sure.
I hear a lot of argument, is creatine vegan or not? Why would it not be vegan?
The thing is that they can get things from plant-based, plant-derived things, just like glycerin can be a plant-based, or it can be animal-based. And oftentimes, through bigger companies, especially for bodybuilding supplements, they're going to do what they can to get it from animals, because that's always more punch, And we have such a big, unfortunately, animals are such a commodity. It's just so easy to get that it's actually easier for them to do things from animals than it is plants, which is really disheartening, but it's the fact of the matter. So it's all about where it's derived from, and so supplementing with creatine can sometimes, if it's not vegan, this is another good thing for people that maybe aren't vegan but thinking about it, it can actually mess with your brain function. So having a vegan source of creatine is not just important for your body and for the animals right now, but for the future. I can't remember the exact chemical breakdown of it, but basically just creatine needs to be veggie based, or you're gonna be in some trouble later on. So I know it was kind of a detouring conversation, but back to that was important for me to say. So.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. When I started working out, at age 18, oh gosh, now to think that at age 18, I was creatine all the time, and who knows what I'm putting into my brain so young, but you see someone else at the gym doing it and you think, oh, well, I don't want to not do it if that's what everyone's doing. I don't want to be the one left behind. And so, that could just be so impressionable.
Yeah, another one so creatine and branched chain amino acids. Protein, our muscles are made up of branched chain amino acids. That's what they are. So that's another one that people oftentimes take after a workout, and they may not know that if it's not vegan, that's a problem, because they get it from all kinds of weird sources. I've read a lot online, weird things like horse urine and bull urine. It's gross. So where those things are coming from, we wouldn't put it in your body if it wasn't in a drink form. So why are we having it? So that's the thing with creatine and BCAAs is, and that's because that's another common supplement. For people that are working out a lot, you might have done that too, I'm not sure. But they're both from amino acids, which are in muscle, unless it's plant-based. So it's kind of a big deal. It's not good. Just good parts.
Well, I personally, I only drink free-range backyard horse urine. But only if it's grass-fed, and
I only drink urine Happy Bowl.
Yeah, but I drink it by itself though. I wouldn't drink that in a supplement. No, gosh, gross.
Yeah, no, and that's, I think a lot of people just don't even know that that's in there. Because I didn't when I first went vegan. I didn't really know where BCAAs came from. I hadn't been in biology for, now it's been 8 years. So at the time it had been 5 years. I hadn't thought about that, and now I'm in chemistry. Like I said, it's regurgitating more and more information. I'm oh, this is why I don't do this. And it makes more sense now, but it's still that awareness of it. So yeah, there's a lot of questions with supplements. I don't mean to kind of keep going back to that, but it's kind of a big deal. So.
And when you say BCs, you mean branched chain amino acids?
Yeah. So the other question for fat burners, I personally am not a fan of fat burners because they're, well, I shouldn't say fan. I just don't like to use them because I get jittery. I feel like it kind of messes with my system a little too much, and that's just not something I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
So if you feel okay on them, and I guess it was vegan, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like you can do the same thing with your food. Ginger is really good for your digestion. You can eat more cayenne, eat more plants, and honestly, just the leafy greens are going to be your best fat burner anyway, because they're clearing out your system consistently, and making sure we're getting good fats instead of bad fats. I don't know. I do a lot of protein shakes, especially right now. I guess normally I would probably only do 1 or 2 a day, which I guess is still a lot, but when you're lifting heavy, you kind of need it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I try to only keep my supplements to, really, is like the protein. Just because, I don't know, I just want my system to be running as smoothly as possible. And I feel like keeping the less processed stuff out is the best. So, yeah. Let's see. What was the third question?
Well, and lastly was like, pre-workout energizers,
Or energy drinks.
Like, what do you do to get yourself pumped up to go to the gym? I used to do a Red Bull.
Sure.
My friend Dave told me no more Red Bull. An hour before the gym, eat an apple, and 30 minutes before, if you need, have some coffee. And I've never put that advice into effect. I've never tried it. I still keep doing the Red Bull.
It sounds solid, but I just haven't done it.
Right.
Funny. I have to admit there are days that I have coffee, and unfortunately I'm having more coffee lately because I am getting ready for a show, and your body's just you're running on like 30 to 40 carbs a day max, and you're just dying. You're like, how am I even functioning? So coffee becomes your best friend these last couple weeks. But on an average morning, I don't think that green tea or coffee is a bad way to go. If you haven't tried it, there is a pre-workout energizer through Vega, and the flavor isn't necessarily my favorite, but it's also not horrible. And the way that I found the first time to do it, because dates are also a really good pre-workout energizer, is throw just one date pitted, obviously with some water, and the Vega pre-workout energizer in a blender. You have a Vitamix now, so go ahead and pop it in there, and it'll be smooth. It'll be kind of sweet. It'll take the bitterness out of like the lemon lime specifically. Is kind of bitter. Yeah. And so that might be something that would work for you. I don't know if you've tried that or not, but that doesn't make me feel jittery or anything either.
A friend actually gave me some of that because he had it but didn't love it, and he gave it to me, that same one, the lemon lime. And I you're right, the flavor's a little strange, but I like it. It seems to be doing the trick pretty much, but I'll still have it like with a coffee.
I don't think coffee is like the devil.
Oh, and just a last sort of question. One thing that I didn't quite throw in there, and I don't mean to like try to get you to be my personal trainer via Skype during this interview.
No, you're totally fine. You're fine.
But like the other thing I always do when I get to the gym is I always get, and I hate that I say this, a Gatorade, just so that I have something to sip on during my workout, like about halfway through. So I'm like putting sugar back in so the muscles can start using that to replace. And my rule of thumb that I've always found works, I always take a scoop of protein powder in water, or I'll just put it in the Gatorade, because if I'm sipping some protein during my workout, I don't have all the pain the next day that I normally would. And if I ever forget to do it, bam, I have pain the next day. So as far as a little something to sip during, and then what you would have immediately after.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm really not a fan of that Gatorade comment. So
right.
I would suggest trying to cut that out if we can, just because we like having you here, and I'd like to have you longer. So let's go ahead and cut that if we can. One thing that I really, really love to do is called Dateorade. I don't know, I'm a huge fan of dates, but Freely Frugivore, I don't know if you follow her at all, like on Facebook or anything. She's the raw vegan. She made Dateorade one day, and I thought, that's a fantastic idea, because midway through my workouts, I'll get tired, I'm exhausted, So all Dateorade is super easy, just hit like 14 dates and put it in water overnight, and then just throw it in the Vitamix in the morning. They'll blend up really quickly, and then just take that like in a little shaker bottle or a little cup that you take to the gym and sip on that during your workout. You'll get the fiber and the sugar, so it'll keep you going without a crash. And it's also, it's good for you. It's good sugar.
So simple and so exciting.
And protein during workouts. I know, right? And it's such a better idea than doing Gatorade. Because Gatorade's full of chemicals, and I don't know. There's so many. The more I learn in my chemistry classes, I'm like, oh my gosh, everything that comes in a bottle is so bad. So I'm really trying to like wean myself off of even more packaged. Exactly. So. Especially, just promise me right now that you won't drink the blue Gatorade.
When I was in Iceland, that's the only flavor they had.
Okay, well, please stop.
Wow.
I love the Gatorade. That's great. That's such a great option. And it will probably taste awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. It's super good. And, honestly, if you wanted to, you could totally do that and just put your protein in that. And another really amazing little drink, I have to make at my local co-op here, is, it's called the Coconut Malt. And so you just use coconut milk, they're using it from a can, which is obviously higher in fat, but you could just grab a box of any kind of nut milk or oat milk or something. And it's just dates, coconut milk, and a little bit of sea salt, just a dash. And I would use pink Himalayan sea salt if you're going to do that. But that's another really good one because it's kind of an electrolyte refueler also. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind too. That's really good, and that's actually really good with vanilla protein in it, or
Is that for your post workout? Would you say?
You could even make that during your workout, but that could definitely be a post-workout too if you had that protein powder in there.
So it's really vital to those that are working out really consistently to make sure that we get protein in our system within 30 minutes of working out, because that's when our bodies need it the most. Our muscles need to heal and recover, and in order for that to happen effectively, we need to get that in there as soon as possible. So sometimes, even if we were to eat immediately after leaving the gym, it may or may not even hit our systems because it takes time for it to be digested. So that's when protein shakes are so imperative for those that are working out pretty consistently.
Wow, good to know. That's excellent. Yeah, I'm going to put that into effect nearly immediately. That's
yeah.
I'm a little stubborn.
Please do that Dateorade. Please.
And drink Dateorade.
I just might have to...
It'd be pretty boring if it was just me.
I just might have to make a little vegan drag queen cooking show about that, perhaps.
You totally should. You totally should. Dates are seriously my best friend. I don't know what I would do without dates. There's so many amazing things you can make with them,
Yeah.
And they're also really great if you're trying to not eat all the chocolate in the world and you just eat them. They're so helpful.
Exactly.
They really hit that spot. It's also, let's just talk about dates for the rest of the show, guys.
I'm good.
But, one of my favorite cookbook authors, Drina Burton, she did for Halloween, she had a caramel apple recipe, but you just make the caramel with soaked dates and cashew butter. And
I was just going to say that.
Oh my God. They were so good. They were incredible. They taste, they're so sweet. They taste just like a traditional caramel apple. It was incredible.
Exactly. And I've never done this myself, but I've heard you can take the coconut butter or the coconut, that pulpy, I don't know what they call it, but you can do that in place of the cashew butter. So you have a coconut caramel, and I'm sure that's amazing also. I haven't personally tried it, but.
That sounds great. Yeah, coconut butter. I know what you're talking about. The flaky kind, right? Yeah, the white kind. Yeah. It was great. I mean, I'll never want a caramel apple not made with dates ever again. I only want that.
It's so good.
It doesn't hurt your teeth. It was incredible.
Exactly.
I have lots of things. Oh, so anyway, so it sounds like. I know that what you do is a little, Mindy, I know what you do is a little different than what the average person working out does. So, I mean, would you recommend supplementing to our vegan listeners who are working out a lot, or maybe they want to run a marathon or something like that?
Yes, I would. I think that, the most important thing is making sure we're getting enough nutrition at the right time and the right amount into our body. And that can mean different things for different people. Like you said, I'm lifting probably a lot more than maybe people that are more into running. So, there's just going to be a little bit of differences, but essentially we all need the same vital nutrients. So I think a huge part of that is knowing your own body. And regardless of your workout, protein shake afterward is not going to be a bad idea. I mean, it's not. So, if that's something that somebody's okay with, I know there's plenty of people that do workouts without it. Actually, Chad Byers out of Austin is a Whole Foods junkie. That's all he does. He juices a lot, and he doesn't use protein powders or anything like that, and he looks great. So I think it's, I don't want to say everybody should do this, but at the same time, maybe to get started in it until you figure out what works for you.
it's always good to have a point of reference. And for me, this is what works, and I know that it works for a lot of people. So I don't want to say it's but it's probably a good idea to do that.
Sure. No, I think that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So, see, there's like so much to know and so much to learn. And I think for someone who just wants to, like, I don't know, be a pro, or someone who just wants to know that they're doing the right thing at the gym, or someone like me who just wants to know they're not wasting their time at the gym and everything they're doing is effective, where would you recommend someone like go online or pick up at the magazine shop, you know, to learn more about these things, or to stay current, you know, or to know all they need to know?
Well, a huge source for me was the veganbodybuilding.com website. That's where I really got started. And again, that's probably because of Robert, because I met him. But that was really advantageous for me in the beginning. And Vegan Health and Fitness magazine, I don't know if you got your hands on a couple copies of that.
I did, the inaugural issue.
Yeah, they have that at my local Whole Foods.
Nice, I like it.
I know.
Well, if your listeners want to, they're launching a fully like competitor-based magazine, and I believe it's going to come out in September. And Robert and I are actually on the cover, which is really, really exciting and an honor. But that's good. Yeah, I know, that's exciting. But there's actually like interviews and things in there from all of us competitors through the Plant Built team. And so there's like examples of our workouts, examples of our diets, and you know, a lot of us have like websites or Facebook, you know, pages, and I think we're all really open to helping people. So if anybody has questions, feel free to find it online. We're happy to be there. My website is mindyvegan.com. Pretty easy. I just started it, so there's not a ton there, but I will answer emails and all of that, and also my Facebook page. So I think that, you know, I feel like the best thing is just kind of, once you know someone's name, find out who they are, go to their sites. We're all happy to help. And I think that's the best tool you can have in life, is a person that's lived it, you know, and can help you out. So
you know what I'd even add to that, Mindy? I think for me, just the vegan bodybuilding Facebook page. Is it a page or a group?
There's a page and there's a group.
Yeah.
And I think pretty much anybody can be asked to join the group and be in there.
That's
a really good page to be on.
Just even like getting back into the gym, like, guys, it's me, I need support. Wow. Like, I found so much awesome vegan support there.
For me, it was really good. I found Claudia Lahakar. I don't even know if that's how you say her last name, but I'm finally going to get to meet her at my show in a couple weeks, and I'm so excited. But she was one of those people, though, that really helped me, and, you know, I wouldn't have known who she was except for the Vegan Bodybuilding Facebook page. So you're absolutely right on that. It's huge asset right there. You've just got people at your fingertips, literally, who want to help you know. Exactly. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Huge community.
Yeah. Get into it. That's a great recommendation.
It totally is.
I feel like that's what I did when I first went vegan. I just went nuts with, like, on Twitter, like, meeting vegan people and talking to vegan people, and I would feel like it was the most valuable thing I did, possibly.
I totally could not agree more. I totally agree.
Yeah. It's awesome. Awesome! Well, I'm so excited to see you on the cover of the magazine.
That's going to be awesome.
I know, we're so excited. We had so much fun. It was not this past week, but the week before. We spent the whole week just doing photo shoots, getting like fun shots, and I think it's going to be a really, really fun issue. So it's a special edition. I'm excited.
Can't wait till September.
I know, it's going to be awesome.
So, Laura, did we get to this email?
Yeah, let's do it. So we mentioned it in the intro, didn't we? We did. All right, so we're going to just do sort of like what Ben and I normally do with answering a listener email, and Mindy is going to help us because we think that she's got a lot of great stuff to say to one of our favorite, and I think probably one of our youngest listeners, Kayla. I'm going to read the email here from Kayla. My favorite vegans. First, I have to pause. Aw, Kayla, you're my favorite vegan. Okay. First off, I love you guys and your show, but ... I need urgent help. I've emailed you before, but I'm going to just brief a few facts about myself to start. My name is Kayla, and I'm 17. I'm a 17-year-old senior in high school. I have been vegetarian for almost 2 years and vegan for about 9 months. I'm a dancer, so I'm very conscious and knowledgeable about what I put into my body. chose this lifestyle for the ethical reasons. The health reasons were just a bonus. I don't know why, but these past few weeks have been really hard for me. I know that I could never go back to eating meat, but I have been getting the feeling that I need to just be vegetarian now instead of vegan. I love being vegan, and I think of it as something that defines me. But lately, I have had that little voice inside my head telling me that it would be so much easier and more convenient for me to be vegetarian. I'm going on a school trip to Mackinac City and Mackinac Island. Look at me. And I know it's going to be hard. Prom is also coming up, and everyone eats dinner from the catering company at the dance. And I am going off to college next year without a car and without much money to buy food, so cafeteria food is basically my only option. Please help me with my doubts. I am forgetting what it feels like to love being vegan, and I don't want to stop. I just feel like I'm so restricted and need some answers. Also, can you explain more in depth how being vegan is beneficial for the animals and for the consumers? Sorry, this is a bit lengthy, but thank you so much. You guys are inspirational. Lots of hugs. Vegan hugs. Kayla.
What a sweet girl.
I know.
What a sweet girl. I love it. You know, I mean, I gotta say, I did dance from like 5 to 22. I did dance like 5 or 6 days a week, and that's originally what my degree in college was going to be in. So I understand where she's coming from about being very conscious about what goes in your body, because what goes in your body is how you perform. And she just sounds like the sweetest thing on the planet. I just love her already. You know, as far as as far as all of that goes, it sounds like there's a lot of outside forces that are kind of making it feel impossible, and it may not be the easiest thing, but I feel like it is feasible. I mean, I haven't been in her exact situation, obviously, but speaking from experience, I kind of feel like where there's a will, there's a way. So I'm going to try and figure out ways to help here. Without a car, I'm wondering if maybe she'll have a bike. If she has a bike, she could probably hop on. I don't know where she's going to school, but there's
that's a great suggestion.
Stores around. So if there's a store around, she could hop on over and get that. If she's still going to be dancing while she's in school, I don't know. It kind of would be good. Maybe she can feel free to send me an email. Honestly, I'd love to help her out. But if she's okay with eating like mostly fruits and vegetables, things that are pretty easy to just go to the store maybe twice a week and get, and then maybe keep things in the freezer if she's got a fridge or freezer handy. I feel like we can make this work. So I want to be able to help her if I can. I don't feel like there's a way to do this, especially without compromising her sweet little heart. So I feel like that's really important to kind of come up with some plans here.
Well, I want to say that just based on previous correspondence I've had with Kayla, that I feel that her family is really unsupportive of her veganism. And I know that's a roadblock, especially when you're a high school student. So, I mean, it must just be so discouraging to like share your home with people who don't support you and don't take it seriously. That's really hard. That's no joke. So,
no, it's not.
I get that idea that like, oh, well, I'll just be vegetarian because, maybe it'll be easier. And maybe it would be, and I don't want to like, I don't want to make her feel bad for needing to do that at a time if she does need to do that. I mean, clearly she has the animals and her health in mind, and and desperately, it sounds like she desperately doesn't want to do it. So I want to encourage her not to do it. Look, I have a good job and I make good money, and I live right next to San Francisco, and I can go to a vegan restaurant if I want to, but I do technically rent a small space where I have no kitchen. So, in my home, I really just have a microwave and like a mini fridge. And I have to say, I have not had any challenges being vegan without a way to cook. And you would think that would be a major challenge. And I don't know why, but I was just like, whatever, I'll make it work. It never even occurred to me that it would be a challenge. I was like, I'll be fine. Right. I'll work it out. Mm-hmm. And I totally have worked it out. And it hasn't been a problem. You just have to believe that you're going to make it happen, that it's going to be fine, because it is. I mean, Mindy, totally right. I love the bike idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean,
and if you're just gonna eat, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe I mean, I guess I see both sides of this because my dad is like an avid hunter, and there's like, I mean, it would be seriously like a working of the universe's miracles. I don't know what it would be if they stopped eating meat, because it's like my dad's, it's like a staple for his life because he's a hunter. So they do not understand, nor do they support what I do, which I totally get. I mean, I'm 26 and it's hard. So I can't imagine being 17 and being in that position. If she's not getting that support, that's definitely difficult. So like major props to her on that, and like 27 high fives, because that's cool. So that's huge. I mean, that's huge. But also I have to say too, like, I mean, I'm a college kid and I can't really work more than a couple days a week. And frankly, I don't have a lot of money all the time, so I also see that side of it for her in that way, where it's not always easy to have, you may not be eating gourmet, but as long as you're getting the right nutrients in and able to like make it work, and there's just ways, there's just ways to make it work, I guess. I found them myself. And again, I would be more than happy if she wants to correspond with me as well. She's more than happy to do that. I'm going to totally try to help her if I can. But I also see the other side of it too. Like, there's so many different angles to this. Where if she does need to be vegetarian for a while, or maybe just not label herself as anything and just say, this is my goal, to eat completely plant-based, and if I am at a place where I have no food, I have no money, and the cafeteria has cheese pizza, I'm going to eat it. That's not, I mean, we're not going to come down on her for that. She's not going to be looked upon any less than. The whole point of being a vegan is to be healthier and to, help the animals in the environment. I mean, it's about making a positive change. And so none of this needs to be negative at all. And so my whole goal is that she feels accepted and knows that she's got support and that we're going to be there regardless of what happens.
Yeah, the other thing, I totally agree with that. And the other thing I was going to say is that when I very first went vegan, because what I was doing was I was vegan at home, but when I went out, I let myself be vegetarian because I was worried it was going to be too restrictive to be vegan while I was out. So but in New York City, especially the way I lived, I was out all the time. But what I remember is finally one day I was like, okay, I'm going to try to be vegan all the time now. I'm just going to see what happens. And if I can't be, I won't be. And to this day, I have not been able to not be vegan. It has not been, I've been able to do it. I always have been.
It's interesting once you make that decision that, like, all right, just for today, from this day forward, I'm just going to try one meal at a time. Bam, like, you never go back. But literally,
I was like, if I can't be vegan, I will cut myself a break and I'll let myself be vegetarian. And I have not had to this day. Right. It hasn't been a problem.
Well, I'm sorry, but I guess I'm still operating under that deal with myself. Hey, if I ever get to a point, if I ever get to a point where, like, I have to eat animal whatevers, like, to stay alive, okay, I will, like the desert island scenario. But if, people are like, well, if you're on the desert island with a cow, I'm like, well, if I'm on the desert island with you, I'll eat you too if I have to survive, But, I remember, I'm a big fan of...
That's fantastic.
It depends on who. Some people are probably tastier than others, but I'm a big fan of Citizen Radio, and they get a lot of... they do a lot of vegan advocacy, and I remember they get a lot of listener mail, and one, like, young college student kind of like this was like, look, I'm trying so hard to be vegan, but sometimes all I can find at school is, like, the popcorn and the french fries. That's, like, all they have, so that's what I'm eating. And they're like, dude, if all you can, if really the only food you're able to put in your mouth is popcorn and french fries, then, dude, eat the cheese pizza and drink the milk and do what you have to do. It doesn't mean you can't go back to being plant-based once that's possible for you, And
it doesn't mean that was your choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Really.
No, you
have to live. And clearly, if you have clearly Kayla has the animals in her heart and in her mind, so she's not going to forget about them because she had a slice of cheese pizza.
Right. But now, on the other hand, Laura makes a really good point saying she basically has, can we call it a kitchenette?
Yes.
I guess. It's
right. So, like, I know from having worked at a Walgreens, you can buy a tea kettle. Just a glass tea kettle that's not electronic. You can buy a little hot plate, like a little single burner You know, you can get, you know, a little mini fridge or whatever they have available to you. You can get a stick blender. I am a big stick blender advocate. I travel with a stick blender. When I went to Iceland and I'm like, what do you mean you don't sell tahini? I'm like, well, I'll take these. I will take these toasted sesame seeds and my stick blender, and boom, guess who made tahini? Like, you're right when Mindy said, where there is a will, there is a way. And, you know, it might not be the healthy. I mean, first off, I don't want to recommend a vegan junk food book of recipes, but hey, if I'm either going to recommend vegan junk food or cheese pizza, like, I wouldn't feel too bad recommending the vegan junk food. Like, and I wouldn't say this book is vegan junk food, but PETA sponsored the, like what is it called, guys? Like the vegan college cookbook.
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? I think it's Sarah Kramer, isn't it?
Oh, no, yes. I know all of Sarah Kramer's books.
PETA vegan college cookbook. I'm gonna rush to figure this out while we're on the air here, but
hold on, I'm gonna Google. You talk.
Yeah, I'm already Googling it here, but it's the yeah. So at any rate, this is a cookbook with 275 easy, cheap, and delicious recipes for people just like Kayla who are like, hey, dude, I'm in a dorm and I guess I can, you know, stash like a whisk in a bowl in my closet, you know, or get a stick blender. But this book is exactly it's exactly that. It's stuff that you can make. Like, dude, it's called the Vegan College Cookbook for a reason. And it's stuff that you can make in your microwave, you know, just real easy. Who is it by? What is that?
You're right. Here it is: 275 easy, cheap, and delicious recipes to keep you vegan at school.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
At any rate, if you're trying to look it up, the author is listed as PETA, but I think that's Sarah Kramer on the cover.
No, it's Marta Holmberg.
Oh, isn't that what I said?
That's not Sarah Kramer.
That's not what I said?
Not Sarah Kramer.
I'm kidding. But yeah, so like...
Okay, sorry. I love Sarah Kramer.
Like, you know, now that I'm looking at these recipes, like, it's not necessarily, you know, junk food or anything, but it also gives tips on how to stock your kitchen, your mini fridge, you know, and certain things like that, things you can have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, and also I gotta say, there's a lot of things that you can make. Like, yes, I have this gorgeous Vitamix now, and I make things like almond milk, and I make, you know, nut butters myself. But I was making those things back when I only had a $10 stick blender and, you know, and a mesh bag to strain things in. You know, you can make a lot. You can make your own nut milk. You can make your own nut butters, just without any kind of technology, really, other than a stick blender, which you can get anywhere. And if you can't find it, Amazon or, you know, eBay. And lastly, one thing that I find so cheap and easy lately is to stock up on dried beans and lentils. And if you can just get a little pot in a single burner, if they don't already provide you that, then, you know, twice a week, you can soak and cook some beans, and you'll have a ton of, you know, beans and lentils. You know, it can be really easy.
Can I interject there too?
Yeah.
Another thing to get in bulk that is fantastic and that would be fabulous with beans is nutritional yeast, because it makes everything taste like cheese, and it's awesome. So, like, that is the cheapest quote-unquote cheese product you can buy. Got protein, and I don't even know what all is in it. I just know it's freaking amazing. Yeah, there we go. And I'm like, I just love it. I just eat it all the time. I put that all over my kale. I mean, it would be amazing. And that's totally something you can keep in, like, a jar with, you know, right next to your beans. And like you're saying, do like a big thing for the week. And also, I wanted to introduce like a cookbook idea is that Eat Vegan on $4 a Day. I don't know if you've heard of that. By Ellen Jaffe Jones. That book is awesome too, and I want to say it's like $8 on Amazon or something. Yeah. And that is another related option.
It looks like this college cookbook is pretty cheap too.
Yeah. Yeah, so like there are options, and I think that it's just a matter of like just figuring out what works for you, you know. But really, I mean, so let's say maybe you start off doing like the quote unquote vegan junk food, like you were saying, like it's also not impossible to buy a couple. Kale is like $1.60 a head, you know. So if you bought like 2 or 3
organic kale, regular kale is like 99 cents.
Yeah, organic kale, I guess, is because that's what I usually am buying. It's like $1.63 or something. So if you're buying that, I mean, you got maybe $5 out your pocket for the week, right? And like you can freeze it if you have a little mini freezer. Just pop it in there, and it'll keep it longer. So you have to go back to the store too. So that's another awesome option. I was just throwing other ideas out there, and you're talking. I'm like, oh yeah, with the beans, freeze your kale.
Freeze your kale. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Freeze your kale?
I freeze it, and then you just pop it in the pan. And
I used to keep frozen kale all the time and put it in my smoothies too.
Ladies, this is news to me.
Oh,
freeze your kale, then.
It's so good. Freeze your kale. If you're worried it's going to go bad in like 2 days and you don't have time, you're not going to be able to eat it, just chop it up or just wash it off and pop it in the freezer for a little while.
Done.
It's perfect.
Hang on, I'm going to go do that right now. Can you guys wait like 40 minutes? One last
Mindy and I just chat. You go.
One last thing I want to add to this. Wait, really? Can I?
No,
okay.
Don't.
One last thing I'm going to add, and then I'm pretty much done fielding this email after this.
I have one more thing I want to say too. You go.
Oh, right, but after this, y'all can take it. But here's the last thing I got to say. Methinks I also detect a bit of just like, here's what I always say. In the present moment, there is no fear. In the present moment, there's no pain. In the moment, I have what I need and I'm taken care of. But when I start to freak out about, but what happens what happens after this year's over? Well, what happens when I move out of this apartment? And what happens when I no longer have so-and-so or such and such? And that's when the pain and the fear and the freaking out starts to come, and the anxiety, and it just creates more and more and more anxiety. So like all of these situations, like if you just take it a day at a time, then you might find by the time you get to that prom and you just worry about getting through that day on that day, well then, hey, either you'll get through that day swimmingly, or maybe on that day you'll have to compromise, but the next day is a new day and you can just get on with it. But if you're sort of setting them up here like dominoes or like a house of cards here, like, well, I got the prom and then I got the trip to Mackinac Island and then I got the this and the that, you're building it up in your mind to be this huge obstacle that is going to defeat you when you get there. So that's the one thing. Just take it a day at a time. If you're vegan today, great. Stay vegan today and do what you can tomorrow. And lastly, okay, so you're gonna have to go to this prom or this dance or whatever it is where they all, or this sock hop, if you will, only if you will though, not if you won't, and you have to eat whatever the catering hall brings you. Great. I'm gonna guess the catering hall is only serving animals because they think that's what everyone wants. So you know what,
right.
if this is coming up, get on the phone with your catering hall.
Amen.
And
there
let them know.
Right?
And you know what,
email the prom committee.
Yeah, and hey, email the prom committee, and also email your friends and be like, hey friends, you might know that I'm newly vegan. I'm worried about this upcoming prom that they might not have anything for me. Could a couple of my friends in solidarity just also call them, or also, I'm always about rounding up the troops and making a big activism thing about it.
Great suggestion.
But get a bunch of friends to support. I'm sure they would love to support you.
The other thing you can say with that, which is always a good go-to, is say, can you just make the vegetarian option vegan? Because people do need a vegetarian option, and if it's vegan, then everybody's satisfied.
Yeah.
Right?
And the same thing goes with your school's cafeteria. There could be no more progressive environment than colleges sometimes, I feel.
True.
And so just let them know, the same thing that applies to the catering, the caterer. Take the same approach with your college's cafeteria. Be like, hey, you know what? We got some incoming vegan students here, and we're a little concerned about going to such and such university because we feel our needs might not be met. And the magic words to unlock the secrets of the universe I've always found are here they are. I need your help.
Yeah.
When I am approached that way, when someone approaches me like, hey, I need your help, my first reaction is, I want to be helpful. What can I do for you?
What can I do?
Exactly.
So that's all I have to say about that.
That's great, Ben. That's so much great stuff. The one other thing I wanted to say, because I think that you, Kayla, need a little inspiration to get and to refresh your being in touch with why you love being vegan. And what I was going to recommend too is that to watch Vegucated, because it's, I don't know if you've seen it already or not, but even if you have, rewatch it because it's free on Hulu right now to watch. And I feel like I've met Tesla, one of the documentary subjects, a few times. She really has the same struggles that you're talking about here. You know, she has the family struggles. She has the back and forth with the, well, maybe it'll just be easier for me to be vegetarian. She really struggles with that, truly. So I think that it's just like the right combination of like inspiration and information and entertainment and relatability. And I think it'll energize you. So watch Vegucated. That's your homework. I assign that you watch Vegucated.
And or Forks Over Knives, because I swear by that one. That one, like, literally changed my life, too.
It's true. I just feel like I really am I feel like, maybe it's because I love Tesla, but I just feel like she's totally gets this. You know what I mean? This same kind of challenge.
And or Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
There you go.
We should do a big fat vegan movie night of Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh my God, it's so going on the list.
I love it. I say yes.
So, Kayla, can you hear us? Is that?
Kayla, we love you. We love you so much. And
Kayla,
don't be hard on yourself. We know you're doing your best,
Kayla,
and it's amazing.
Don't jump, Kayla. You have so much. You have everything to live for.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Don't beat yourself up.
Kayla,
Yeah.
Kayla,
Kayla,
Kayla, Kayla. Y'all, I want a podcast to shout out at me like that. That's all I want. Kayla, you are lucky.
I know.
Email Jasmine and have her do it to you.
Oh my God, would they? Oh my God. Don't even get my hopes up. Don't even say that.
She just email me back and be like, no, Laura.
Yes. I can but dream.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
we're alive.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kayla, because that gave us so much to talk about. And I hope that is a lesson to anyone else out there listening who has a question, because we will answer it and we will get experts on the line.
And maybe we'll get like a vegan bodybuilding celebrity to answer it.
Just maybe, we have the hookup.
You never know.
Well, so, Mindy, I think by now our listeners know where they can find you and everything. Any other shout-outs or anything else that you wanted to... Are
you on Twitter, Instagram?
I'm on Twitter. Twitter is @MindyVegan. Instagram, I just changed it the other day to vegan_fitness. And it's, if you type in Mindy Vegan, it might come up. I have a little plant, a little like muscle arm in there, but it's vegan_fitness is my actual name.
A little plant and a little muscle arm.
Yes, exactly. So that's me. Yeah, and I'm on there, and I just switched my Twitter handle to @MindyVegan because I had it at Scorpio M8, which is actually where like all of my Facebook updates go. Mm-hmm. So I actually just found you guys and following you on my new one. I just started it, so
awesome.
I'll get stuff hooked up through there a little later. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So
yay!
Yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I hope I answered some questions, and people can definitely hit me up, and you guys can too. I would love to stay in contact with you, so it's fun.
Absolutely. This was just fantastic, Mindy. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, so awesome to have you on. It's so cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy. I'm glad I was able to. It worked out perfect.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you very soon, Mindy.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, my God, I love Mindy so much.
First of all, I just through my headphones, I can like feel how much energy this girl has.
Right?
She just sounds like she's like bouncing off the walls. It's almost enough to make me want to give up Red Bull completely. Again.
Yeah, like she's making me want to work out. I mean, honestly, I was already thinking that I should join a gym, even though it seems crazy because I work 60 plus hours a week. I don't know when I'm going to work out, but I was like, I've got to. Mm-hmm. I'm a big, slobby, tired person, and I just need to get a little cardio in at least a couple days a week. So I feel inspired.
Once upon a time, dim the lights if you're listening to this. I'm going to tell a story.
My lights are dim, baby.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away known as Astoria, Queens, it had been months, maybe even more than a year since my last workout, and I thought, you know what? And stop me if I've told this story a million times in previous episodes. I said, you know what? That's where the listeners say, what? I am going to put my my gym clothes on tomorrow. Not today. Tomorrow. And I'm going to walk to the gym. It's about 7-8 blocks from my apartment. I'm going to walk to the gym. And I'm going to touch the door. And I'm going to walk back home. And for that next day, that was my fitness goal. To suit up for the gym, walk to the gym, touch the door, and go back. I figured, I'm like, well, it's not quite going to the gym, and it's not quite sitting on the couch. It's like right in between. And I actually ended up going in and doing like 9 minutes on a treadmill just for the sake of saying I did it. But the wonderful thing for me is when I go to the gym today, I feel like in the next couple of days, like, all right, I got to get back. It's been 2 days. It's been 3 days, If I'm just not going, then I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you go today, you will feel like you got to get back there, You'll just need your fix.
Well, I don't even have a membership out here or anything, I'm just working so much, it feels impossible. But there's no way I can't squeeze in a little bit of exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if that little bit just means, you know what? If I was going to do nothing else for my fitness, I would just go for a little 20-minute jog every morning.
Yeah.
Go for a little 20-minute jog 2-3 times a week. And 2-3 times a week, do something for my abs, whether it's Ab Ripper X from the P90X series, or heck, I just gone on YouTube and typed in like ab routine. And I found some really cool videos where it's like 8-minute abs, like, go, here's what you do, boom. So like just doing a little 20 minutes of jogging twice a week and abs twice a week, that's really all a body needs.
Yeah, well,
anything,
honestly, it's just if you get a little cardio 3 times a week, you're doing better than, that's an improvement over doing nothing. That's great.
That's enough to start.
20 minutes,
it's enough.
Even just 20 minutes on like a little machine, whatever, break a sweat,
Yeah.
and you take a shower. Heck of a lot better than not doing that.
But if you don't even have access to a machine, I used to just roll out of bed
right.
before I even
I'm not
shower.
a big fan of running. That's why I'm saying
I would just, but running or just like taking some stairs somewhere, or heck, I don't know, doing some jumping jacks or getting on your bike or doing whatever you got to do.
Yeah, bike
or
is what's up. I don't have a bike.
Or making the time. Or making the time to instead of leaving your house to do 20-30 minutes of exercise and then coming back and getting ready for work, make the time to leave for work 20-30 minutes early and walk that day, you know, and boom, there's your cardio. There's always a way to work it in.
No, it's true. I don't know. I've never worked this much in my life. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be whiny.
No, I hear you.
I mean, if I work 60 hours, that's like the least I'm working. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never worked this much in my life. It's insane.
But the thing is, you got 2 babies to look after. You can start using one on each arm like dumbbells.
Well, luckily, I'm not sitting at work all day. That is good. I am running around and picking up heavy children.
Well,
they're
God
not fat
willing,
or anything. I didn't mean to say that like that. But they are not as light as they were when I first met them. They were 4 pounds each. They are no longer 4 pounds each.
Well, they're growing little munchkins.
Oh my God, are you kidding? They're humongous monsters.
Yeah. Well, as Laura and I continue to get fit and buff and whatnot, you can follow us on the Twitter and the Instagram. You can find Honey LaBronx on Twitter and Instagram under the name Honey LaBronx.
Honey LaBronx.
At Honey LaBronx. And with Laura, you can find her on Twitter or Instagram at Laura Yaz. That's LARAYAZ.
You know it. As always, you can guys check out my movie review show, 3 Minutes About a Movie on YouTube. It's just youtube.com/Laura Yaz.
And you can find Honey LaBronx's vegan drag queen cooking show at www.vegandragqueen.com. Oh, wait.
Today's use of medieval oil.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that I do this. This is a thing.
How about, you know what I did, what I'm doing currently, because I have a monster zit, basically, living deep. You know those ones that it's not even out. No one can even see it, but I can feel it.
The cherry zits. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Like a pit under the skin.
After you wash your face or after you get out of the shower and your skin is all warm and the pores are open, just take a drop of the medieval oil and just pop it. Just dot it right on top of your blemish. And then clutch the sink as the pain will sear through your face.
Yeah, it's some strong stuff.
But it works.
You know what
It works, people. It works.
You know what I'm starting to ponder doing again? I'm just on this health kick lately, and one thing that I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but there's a lot of thought that if you rub medieval oil into the soles of your feet, like at night before you go to bed, it does a lot to really boost the immune system.
Yeah, I do it when I'm sick. I've been doing it all week.
Yeah, so boom, that's today's medieval oil use. And you can always buy medieval oil at Medieval Oil, that's MEDIEVAL oil.com. .com.
As always, we'd like to give a big special thanks to our composer in residence, Michael Harren. You can check out his work at michaelharren.com, and also our visual artist in residence, Kelly Huffine, whose work you can check out at kelly42fox.deviantart.com.
And I have to just say, I saw Michael Harren's show at the Judson Memorial Church.
Time.
I actually sort of saw like a dress rehearsal run through of it, but congratulations, Michael! It was
big
brilliant,
congratulations to
and it was
Michael.
Inspired. I saw him today. I saw him today. We had lunch at Vegetarian Paradise 2, the only restaurant I know that has a sequel but no original.
Oh, VP2. The original is Red Bamboo,
VP2.
I think.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Anyway.
Well, he says hi anyway, and it was awesome to get to like talk to him afterwards about his show and just the process. And it was, you guys, it was so brilliant. So
it was really good, you
guys.
I watched it on my iPhone.
Oh, the whole show?
No, because a baby started crying, so I only got to watch maybe 30, 40 minutes of it. But I watched the first chunk.
Can see why they would cry. There was some emotional journeying.
They were sick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch it when they were awake. Come on. That whole
Laura, do you have any other
that whole man horror story? It wouldn't be appropriate for 2-year-olds.
You're right about that. Yeah. You are right. He has a funny story about a 13-year-old girl who was there with her family, and then that story started, and they got up and they left.
I don't blame them. My God.
Yep. And he was like, cool, so I'm making art that causes certain people to have to walk out because you can't handle it. Boom.
Yeah, that's so funny. If I was 13 and they were with my parents, we wouldn't leave. My mother would be like, it's fine, dear. People have sex.
Yes.
That's probably why I'm so touchy when people get to really talk about sex. I'm like, my mom does that.
That's how we all got here.
Anyway, we have like a really major important shout out to do. Ben.
Yes, we have. You guys, it gives me like tingles. That just makes me sound so gay. It gives me tingles and tassels to announce a special shout out.
We have an official sponsor.
Our official sponsor! Woo! To our good friend in Texas, Miss Sunshine Villa, who has joined the Big Fat Vegan Radio
at the official sponsor level.
Yes,
the official sponsor level.
At the official sponsor level. And so you have her to thank for bringing this episode to you, and we are just thrilled with her support. So Sunshine, you are my sunshine, my vegan sunshine.
Love you.
You make me happy because I'm already gay. What? Something. We'll work on a better song for you, Sunshine. But for right now, you are the wind beneath my wings.
Our first official sponsor. I just feel like I'm queen of the prom.
You never forget your first official sponsor, do you? Sunshine, thank you. And we look forward to hanging out with Sunshine and our other members and our other select members who are joining at the $25 a month level or higher, hanging out with them on our upcoming Google Hangout, which we will announce plans for soon. But if you think we sound funny...
So guys, join, become a member.
Because if you think we sound funny, girl, we look even funnier when we're doing this.
I have a towel on my head right now.
Do you really?
I do, seriously.
And I am pantless, but you won't be able to see that in the... I'm sitting here in boxers and like a tank top, but that makes me sound a lot sexier than I am. But
people, become a member. BigFatVeganRadio.com.
You know what? For the first official hangout, I will let the fans choose what I'm wearing during the hangout.
Oh my God.
Boom.
That's hilarious. Yep. Are you going to like hold options up in front of the screen and they'll be like the red one?
I'm going to keep I'm going to do quick change. I will do quick changes.
All right. I'm excited about the hangout now.
I might even do it in drag now and then. We'll see.
Alrighty. Well, that's all we've got today for Big Fat Vegan Radio. Please be sure to subscribe to us through your iTunes or your podcatcher of choice. It's extra helpful if you can give us an awesome rating and a glowing review.
Mm-hmm. And be sure to let us know what you thought of this episode on our Facebook page, or send us a tweet, or leave us a voicemail, or you can leave us a comment at bigfatveganradio.com. The point is, y'all, we just love to hear from you. So, Laura, thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
And, have a great day, everyone. We'll have all the details up on the show notes about the supplements and how to find Mindy.
And hot pictures of Mindy.
And a hot, awesome bodybuilder, Mindy. Wait, is that what you said?
I said hot pictures of Mindy. We should put a picture of her up.
Oh, I thought you said hot waitress Mindy. I'm like, oh, she's got like a diner waitress outfit.
No! Every picture of her is smoking.
Gorgeousness. And, we're forgetting something.
Oh, God, of course. Ugh.
Go vegan! Beautiful. Boom.
Oh, I forgot to record that.
To record what?
Oh, I didn't record that.
Damn it. Oh.
I'm kidding.
Why does it work on me every time?
I'm kidding.
I hate you so much. Flames on the side of my face, heaving breath,